Good afternoon and a great Thursday to everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. And it is 2:01. We are going to go through a quick Q&A. We're all busy like heck getting the working on getting the rules and everything that people wanted ready. Gunta is working full time. That's why I've been doing the Q&As these last few times. We've been working late into the night, and want to thank everybody for all the great questions again put on Board Game Geek and some of the other items. As you can see, some of you recommended we also do the overview. I went into a little more depth. We placed it higher up on our campaign page so that people can see how the game plays and the flow. Unfortunately, I didn't know that there's a character count limit on Kickstarter. So we had to compress the intros and then do them as you just click on it and a PDF comes up. So hopefully people have seen that and can comment on it. Also, when I did the change, I forgot to add the Board Game Geek link that Michael's been doing. And we put that back up again because he has done, this group has done an incredible job of taking all of the metagame examples that we've been doing, the Q&As here and everything, and putting it really into a nice to look and read section here. I'm going to be going through some of the questions that people had here on the Q&A. So the first thing, hello, Michael, Gorka, and have several other people online there. I'm going to go through first what we had on Board Game Geek, and then I'll get through the lines here as Jeremy and Jim are putting the questions up on Discord. And we're doing that in our office Discord, guys, in the general section. First of all, well, while I'm here, objectives. In any one game session, players are required to complete all but 2 available objectives. No, Adam, how it works is this. Someone brand new coming into a game. Let's say you guys have been playing for a few sessions and someone new says, hey, you guys are having fun. Our D&D group isn't playing this week. I want to get into play Stellaris with you guys. You go, great. Here, you can either use a preset civilization or here, how you make your own civilization. Step by step here, this is how you do it. Choose, do whatever you want to do. Be militaristic, be pacifist, be xenophobic, be xeno. It doesn't matter. You put it together. Then that first era, and let's say everybody else is like third era. The third era is going to have, we always have 2 additional cards over the highest era. The first 3 cards are always early eras, and then the later eras are everything after that. So you always have 3 early era objective cards, and then everything over that are the later. So we have 3 early and 2 later. The third eras have to complete 3 of those 5. The first era only has to complete 1 of those 5. And mostly they're going to try to complete one of the early eras because they're easier. Secondly, we also have, for new people coming in, you're not part of the Galactic Center, and that is because it is so much easier for a beginner to be able to just worry about their little thing, not have to worry about negotiations, someone maybe invading or anything. That's why they're not part of that Galactic Center quite yet. And some people may be a little concerned that a 40% chance every time I add a tile that it'll take forever for them to attach to the Galactic Center. We do want, on average, people to be able to go through 3 tiles at least, expanding star systems, before all of a sudden everything else hits them, because you're learning the game as a new player. That's why you'll also see that the phase boards I mentioned in the PDF, the phase boards are 2-sided. The ones we're showing are only showing the symbols and everything that an advanced player would do. On the back side, we took out everything that a first era empire wouldn't do. You're not going to have directly the battleships and some of these really complicated things. Not on there. Plus, next to every image, we have writing what it means. So not only if you don't know what a symbol means, every card that we show on top of your screen where it just shows symbol, we'll pick the card up. It says real big what it is and then the symbol. So it is difficult in this life of being everything online and we being physical board gamers also to be able to see all this. And I'm going to be putting up a little table here in the next day or two with just all the symbols that there are and what they mean. And they aren't that hard because, again, every card shows them. And also on the back, they show everything in writing. Here I printed one off, what it means with no symbols, and we're going to add the symbols on top of it. So that's number one. Number two, so that's objective. Hopefully, Adam, that answered your question. Is there a chance that due to component limitations or other factors that more than two are impossible to achieve? Yes, it could very well be that one may be impossible for you to achieve, maybe because of your civilization, how you're set up. If you're a pacifist and you're not going to go and conquer another person's solar system or something like that, you'll be out. But again, realize it is the highest era +2. So if you are a level 2 era and someone else is level 4 and 5, you can play together very well because you're newer or you're a smaller empire, and it's allowing you to grow and still win an era because you played it well for what you're doing, compared to some others who have so many more resources, but also maybe some more limitations because of all the storylines folding forward. Michael Gorka, and conversely, to add on to Adam's question, is it possible to have progressed so far that you immediately complete an objective at the start of the game? No, the objectives sometimes are quite good. A lot of them could be political, could be economic, things like that. So we are trying to, listen, we're veteran game designers. I'm also going to have Jim put links to our Agents of Mayhem live rules that you can download, and even our Conflict of Heroes. I mean, Conflict of Heroes, one of the top military games out there, which normally people are going, oh my God, it's a tactical war game. You can teach it in 5 minutes or less, and people are getting it because the way, number one, how rules are, and number two, also how we progress through rules step by step. And what's so neat with the Stellaris is that we're not putting many rules. That's why we have the phase boards. You don't have to memorize them. Choose one of the four and choose what you want to do. You maybe do one, maybe two actions on a board, and that goes quick. But what's so neat about it is as you're progressing and learning the game, more of the rules are coming out and being taught to you as the universe opens, because they're not there at first. They're not in the rule book or anything, because we want to surprise you. We want to get you engaged so you understand. People have been asking us, how do crises work? We're not going to tell you that because that's part of the unfolding storyline. That may sound suspicious to some people, but we are a very veteran game company. We're not a one shot in the dark. I mean, you have to realize we do games for different type of for museums, for schools, for teaching, our Freedom Underground Railroad, our Mare Nostrum, which is a great, fun game that, you know, won the Game of the Year in its categories and everything, our 878 Vikings, what we work with what we're working now with the Marine Corps Association and their decision-making board games. And so it isn't like we're going to disappear here. We're going to use all our past experience to make this game incredible, but we're also not going to be giving away the secrets and the fun. I'm not going to do a spoiler like at a movie saying, oh, in Ghost, he's really a ghost and it's not him. He's dead already. I did that once. Who was that? Bruce Willis or something, some movie. Great movie. All right, next. I'm going to go here real quick into some of the questions. Are we anticipating any other add-ons to pop up after the campaign? We have two more that people have been asking a lot about. Number one, people have been asking about dice. We are supplying with game 8 dice, 4 black, 4 white. And we do that if you have multiple type of weapons in combat, let's say you have some cruisers and a destroyer at the same level, and one has, let's say, lasers, and the other has some type of missile device or particle shooter. You can then say, okay, the lasers are white, the particle shooters are black. But then also people have been asking, or you just roll separately. That's how I usually do it. But people have been asking if they could have a set of 4 dice for each of the empires or player colors out there. The 4 that come with the base game, and with the Empire's expansion, the 2 extra colors. So we got quotes on that, and we are going to be giving, and these are the big 20 millimeter D10s. They're really 21.4 millimeters. Don't hold me exactly, but tip to tip, they're the 20 millimeter. And we're going to be selling a set of 24 in the 6 player colors for $10. And that's a very fair price, we found, because we have to get them packaged and all, and they're custom colored. So they're a little more expensive than we would have hoped. Secondly, the card expansions. A lot of people have asked about the card sleeve expansions. Again, we were not planning on doing this, but because so many people asked us to do this, we have come, and we're known for cards. And I'm going to get a lot of questions on what kind of cards we have. We always offer sleeves for cards, for poker-sized cards, which we're doing in this game. We're not offering for small ones. Number one, because the half-size cards are not many of them. And those are not cards you're using a lot or shuffling. They're just at a beginning when you're starting a new empire. You're going to choose which ones you want. You put them in your player screen, and they kind of stay there. So for those, you can sleeve them if you want. They're not that many, but I feel those aren't really that key. So we got our cards. I pulled a competitor card. You can see it's very thin. And then our cards, they're much stiffer. They're stiff. Clarity-wise, we go with very clear. And since then, what we've done also, even a step further, I do not like a lot of the ones that people mention. You can just go in like this and just tear them apart. We've been working now with a company on a very high tensile strength. They specialize in high tensile strength a poly material that you cannot tear them. I mean, you're just tearing and they don't come apart. So that's what we're going for. And I have videos of them, but the problem is they're showing not only ours that they're making for us, but also competitors out in the market. And it makes me nervous when you just go to competitor one and you just, you can break through it right away. So I want to really assure people that we're going for really high quality. Each expansion is 1,300 sleeves. That means 13 100 packs plus the big, it's a heavy duty box, a 2 millimeter core, 157 gram, really nicely printed outside with inside 1 millimeter core trays where the storage trays you can put the different cards in. And what a lot of people, which I also want to clear up, got a little confused. The game comes with all the cards. But as soon as you sleeve a card and you put a card into a sleeve, its thickness, the space it takes up, almost doubles. So the problem is that we have 18 inches when you stack roughly, it's a little more, it's like almost 19 inches. When you stack 1,300 cards, it's 19 inches of space that's needed. And then we need a little wiggle room so you can go through, because all the cards are nice boxes with dividers that say what they are. And most of the cards that you're using in a game, you don't need in your personal box playing, because again, it's a very quick playing, not overwhelming game. So the extras, if you're sleeving, you can put in your storage box for your sieve with your little dividers, and you can see, oh, that's mine. Oh, I need this. I just got this research. Let me go get card 84. Pull it out. Now you put in your personal. So it isn't that you can take all the cards out of your base game and put them in the storage box. No, because with card sleeve, your 19 inches turn into like 34 inches, 35 inches. So that's why we offered them, and we made them a really high, thick, nice value. Front's cut down, so again, you can easily find something. Enough on space on the top, so your dividers saying what cards are what are easy to see. Put a lid on, good to go. Next question. Someone came on, asked the cards, what kind of card material? They see online 110 gram. Now, 110 means grams per square meter. A sheet, how much does it weigh? And they're saying they only see black core and ivory core. Ivory core is just clear, 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 and they give it a fancy name. The black core was used for poker, so that when you're looking at a card, that you cannot see through the back or front what's on the other side. Okay, so here you can see one of our Agents of Mayhem cards, and in this card, we use on these here, we use a blue core. We get it out of Netherlands because I like cards when you snap them. I like it. I like it. I like it. Nice snap. I don't like a non-snappy card. And when I snap them, I want them to stay straight. I don't want some cheap card, and I don't have any cheap cards here, that when you snap them, something like that happens. You know, that's not good. And I'm not saying that this is a bad card. It's just a card I had as a sample, and I'm like, nah, not what I want. So you want snap, 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 and you still want them to be nice and straight coming out. So the blue cord we get to get this is out of Netherlands. The company that we work with, the printer in China, imports the paper from the Netherlands and then makes our cards from them. So again, blue cord, black cord. I like blue cord because I like the look of them when they're stacked. I like when you can't see through them. We're not playing poker, but still, they have to be a high quality. So we go 310. I like that thickness. I don't like the 270 cards. They're very flimsy. 340 are so thick and hard, and they just take up so much room, and they don't shuffle. So I want a good shuffling card that snaps well, stays nice and straight, and lasts well. Next question on BGG, and then I'll get to the comments on the side, guys. How do the quality of the card sleeves that come in the add-on compare to Mayday penny sleeves? I will not talk about a competitor's sleeves, but if you have a sleeve where you can take and just, they tear easy, no good. So Mayday, great company. I know the owner, we're good friends, and they have very good cards. So I'm not going to talk about anybody else's sleeves, but these are definitely a higher thickness and grade than the penny sleeves, just because we're also getting more money for them. You're paying, I think, 400. If you take 25 and divide by 13, that comes up to $1.92 for a pack of. Well, that's cheaper than anywhere on Amazon, and you're getting the big box and everything. So again, we printed these and made these available to you really at our cost after we're taking all the Kickstarter percentages off, our royalties we have to pay for the artwork, etc., and the advertising. We're trying to break even on these. So the big boxes and everything, really, for $25, 1,300, 60 micron high tensile. I mean, you can tear and they don't come apart. So those are the questions I have here. Also, I want to mention, we've been unlocking a lot of miniatures lately. And my fear was that because we have our social stretch goals, our metagame stretch goals, and then our level are pledge level stretch goals that a lot of people are so used to just looking at the money level stretch goals that they aren't seeing all these incredible miniatures that we've unlocked through our meta game in the last week. Of course, we did the ancient mining drones, which is a beautiful miniature. Then the star bases, we added more of those. And realize these are two-piece star bases when they're manufactured. And these star bases are on your solar systems. And on top, you're sliding in different specializations to your star base to make it again. But it's not in the rules. It doesn't describe it because you're researching. All of a sudden, you get this card, and it then says, here, pull these tiles. They will do slip them in, and they do this, this, this. And everybody can see this. So now all of a sudden you have a very high defensive area. You may want to stay away. Let me see here really quick. I got another hit. Why 2 boxes, not 1 big box? A lot of people, there are 1,300 cards in the base game. And in the 5 and 6 player expansion, this is a big box. People do not understand the 5 and 6 player expansion. It is half the size. It's going to be like our Agents of Mayhem or a Gloomhaven type box, but even thicker. That's just the base box. And the expansion's the half the size with all this stuff in it, with nicely molded trays in the bottom where you're putting all your system tiles. And if nobody's seen our Agents of Mayhem, again, we do things very, very correctly. Every tray in here locks in and has its space. So every tray is built with the rim, so it locks in the front. The trays below it, everything, the big tray has the spaces for the small trays. So everything has its spot in here. In here also, as you're going through, every single piece has its spot, and on the bottom is a really, I mean, it goes all the way to the bottom. Every single thing has a spot with a real heavy-duty base, plastic molded. For Stellars, it's going to be much thicker because you have all these different system tiles. And between eras, when you're putting the game away or you want to, you're saving your systems and everything, these deep wells in the bottom, you're putting your different layers of your star systems with your planets, everything on them, stacking up. And the way the hyperlane long point is pointing allows you to see, as you're pulling them out, how they need to stack up to the other ones. So we are really cognizant on this. And this, with stars, even has been thicker because we've got these big trays. Every player has their own trays. You've got all these beautiful boxes. Everything has a spot. We're not making it where something doesn't fit. So this fits on the bottom here. Then here, this is a 3-dimensional combat game based on the Agents of Mayhem universe. And I'm going to put this all away. And here, we've got all kinds of miniatures. And so I'm going to put this away here real quick. So we're afraid with these big boxes, this is going to be roughly around 10 kilograms, over 20 pounds. 20 pounds in one box. Then with the card sleeved. But I am looking into it because a lot of people are asking for it. And hopefully by the time we get the survey out, maybe we have a good option. I've seen some really cool games where they have a really big box where things slide out and everything. It could be very cool, but not at this stage. Okay. How is shipping affected by the Galaxy map and the sleeve cards? The Galaxy map and the Galaxy map is going to be different. We are going by, and that's why we put ranges in there. The Galaxy map, as we say, add-ons may be a little more. What we found, though, is when we ship in 2 boxes, everything's going to be in 1 box, except for the map. And that comes in its own box, which will have another outside sleeve box. That is usually in like DHL in Germany, which we use for European shipping. In America also, we use UPS. We don't ship to PO boxes anywhere just because of issues we've had in the past. usually when two are going at the same time, the cost comes way down. We are looking into that. We are right now negotiating and figuring everything out. The problem is, though, right now the shipping rates across countries and everything have the COVID penalties on top of it. So the shipping rates we expect are going to go down, because shipping rates right now, literally, as in one of my past talks, have 2.5 times higher, almost 3 times higher than they were a year ago. So we do expect the shipping rates to stabilize again, but you never know what's going to happen. You never know if, you know, another oil tanker gets stuck or what happens with North Korea or whatever. So we're going with what our shipping costs are right now. These big boxes are also going to be, they're going in the same box, but the weight may go up. There may be a slight variation going on the top line of our phase, or maybe even $5 higher. We don't know. But the add-ons are going to add a little to shipping, but these boxes and everything are going in the base game, all shipped together. But the weight goes up, so the shipping can go up a little. All the other stuff like the small add-ons, the miniatures, the dice packs and all that, that's nothing. It's only these big, bulky or big things going in where the shipping costs will be added on once we know what they are. But it's not like it's going to be shipped solo. And that's what we're told. Now, that doesn't mean that if you live in some country that does not go by this, that it may not be an added, like an own shipment by itself for the map. That we don't know. But in Europe, that's been our experience. UK, I don't know, now that we are going to be shipping from within the UK. So again, that's why we are trying to hold everything off as long as we can with the shipping rates, because if we did it right now, it's crazy right now. And half the time, people aren't getting them. They're getting stuck on the customs border. It's a mess right now when you're sending, especially board games, because they're non-essential items, but it is getting better. Next, I'll start. So objectives in anyone, is there a chance that due to component limitations or other, no, Michael Gorka. To add to Adam's question, is it possible to have progressed so far that we're always making it that as a established empire, that it is new goals you have to fulfill. Excuse me. Yeah, Jim. Oh, okay. Well, I am in the I'm in the general one. Am I in the wrong Discord channel? Okay, got it. Thank you. Why 2 boxes, not 1 big box? Jim, I'm not getting any further. He's saying that I'm not getting the newer question on Discord. Excuse me real quick. Hey, Jim, I'm in the Office General Discord where it says, why 2 boxes, not 1 big one? Are there new ones after that? I am not showing any new questions after that. I just have the 2 boxes, not 1 big one. Let me see if I'm in the other channel. We're in the Academy Games Office General, correct? All right. Yes. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. I've got one guy talking here in my my little, love these things. You don't have to plug them in when you're running. You can hear everything around you, but still get some good tunes and telephones going. I should take this off because I'm not using right now. Next, the rules. We've been working like crazy. I've put on the overview. A lot of people want to see kind of how it's played without the menu A. Gunther's working like crazy with the rules. Now, realize everything has to be okayed. We're working with a big IP. The artwork is not final in these. We don't have all the examples, but because a lot of people want the rules, we're going to put up the rules. But Jim is also going to be putting up, and Jim, I don't know if you've done this yet, he's going to be posting links to our live rules for our Agents of Mayhem and also for our Conflict of Heroes games, or any of them. They're all available online. our 878 Vikings is very popular, our Mare Nostrum, etc. One thing we do well is rules, and we do a systematic learning where we just build up slowly and teaching with a lot of examples, a lot of pictures, so that you as a new player can learn it, and then you can teach your friends really quick. My experience in the past with new players using the side of the board that is not all icons and not as many options is it takes me roughly 5 minutes to teach them how to play. Now, these are people who've played a board game before in their life. So we sit down, say, here, you're going to be building up your space. Here's a pre-made civilization if you don't want to do your own. And when we start, you've got these 4 boards. And I just go through it here if you want to build things, here if you want to move and explore, here if you want to do not much politics you can do at the front beginning, but here you can start building your colonization and getting to other planets. And so it's very visual. And that's why we did these 4 boards. So it isn't like everything's hitting them, they don't know what to do. They can look at these and go, oh. And by the time they're through the first half of the game, where they're not having to interact with diplomacy and head-to-head with other players, they've got a really good feel for it. Gunther's going to be posting these tonight. He's been working like crazy, but please realize, and I know we're going to lose a lot of people because they're going to say, these aren't finished rules. They're not all pretty and glitzy. This Kickstarter, guys, if we didn't have Kickstarter to really get the funding for all the everything we're doing, we have to go also a little on our merits that we do know how to make good rules. So that's why look at our old rules, look what Gunther posts, because he's very good at writing rules, and realize all this empty spaces where he says examples, that's where we're going to have pictorial examples showing exactly every little thing we're talking about. You'll see the examples with a lot of designer's notes. Why are we doing this, etc., etc. And you can see this in our Conflict of Heroes and also in our Agents of Mayhem rules. Next is a physical art book identical to the digital one. Yes, the digital art book online where they're showing the digital pictures, that is what this is based on. Several years ago, Friedrich Toll, I always want to say Friedrich, and I have to be careful because the way I pronounce it in Sweden, I think it's Friedrich Toll. Is one of their top designers or head of artwork. And he put together that beautiful book when they first were coming out and really explaining what all happened and everything. So they did a few hundred physical copies that were only available at a convention and for the internal people. And they've given us permission now to do a limited run of these collector's books. Instead of the collector's digital version, this is going to be the collector's hardbound version. So that is what it is exactly right. It is this beautiful art from the digital collection, which was based then off of their original really short hardbound that they did, I guess, when the game was very new, and at one convention they were handing them out to special people. The Starbase miniatures. Were there only 2-player? Why only 2? The star bases, you have base star bases, and then you can, through research, get the larger star base miniatures. At the, I believe, 2 million or 1 million goal, I forgot where, we opened and put in 3 of each color so that there were already 18 of these big star base miniatures. Then we said, well, maybe now with all this other stuff and all these other storylines that we're putting in, maybe we will need more, because these are heavy-duty star bases with super defense capabilities or surveillance, all kinds of cool stuff you can do. A star base isn't like just a star base, like in the PC game. You can outfit it and specialize in different things. So we decided, instead of just 3 with all these different stories, it could be now that we need more. So we included another 12 2 per player. So now that there are a total of 30 of these big star-based miniatures coming in the deluxe package. So it's not just 2. We added 2 to the original 3, which we thought at the time was all we needed. But because of all the support we're getting from all the online people, I have to tell you, you have so many more stories coming in from these Stellaris personalities, really well-known online, who've been, over the last few weeks and months, been working on us and been playing with the system, really know it, so that they can develop these storylines. They're so excited. They're giving us so much great material, which again is just filling out that Frontiers box, which is another 1,300 cards. So between the Frontiers and the Empires expansion, that's 1,300 poker-sized cards, and in the base game, 1,300. Again, it sounds overwhelming. It isn't, because this is such a story-driven game. Things floating forward. And as I said before, I'm a D&D, Pathfinder, Shadowrun, you name it. I love that game. Those games. I just love sitting with people and building a story and just having fun. Some of the other miniatures I want to go through, and then we'll go last thing, and then we're going to cut it short here, because I also have to work like crazy in getting the new metagames going. We see how we attached our solar system to the universe, and then have Diego and them put the graphics together so we can get them at time. That's why I'm usually awake till way early in the mornings, because the graphic teams around the world have to get everything done as these progress. It's not as easy as I would hope. But we unlocked the ancient mining drones, and we've already gone through them in one of the meta games. Came across those. Then we have the star bases. We then have the gateway miniatures. These are really cool miniatures that we're going to have, which are like in the video, in the PC game, that are gateways between far away different systems. So they're not like the hyperlanes where you're attaching to star systems together, but across. And so they're pretty cool. And again, there are no rules in the rulebook, because as you're discovering them and as you're going through them, it says what to do and how to do it and what can happen. So a lot of this is, again, it's a discovery. Surprise. Whoa, I didn't know. And realize what you're doing, what you're researching, what you're pushing for and going forward and doing in your universe is going to draw in different type of crises. It's not a random thing, guys. As a lot of you know, we specialize in AI and all, and for AI and board games and also for video games. And what Gunta did here is incredible. It's going further in one direction compared to what we're doing with our behavioral agent-based AI modeling for military situations with, cognizant suppression during combat, stuff like that. Then we have also the Tianki space whales. I love those things. These are the space whales, like in the PC game, where you can capture them and mine them for rare resources. But can everybody do it? No. If you're a pacifist type of civilizations, no, you're not going to do it. Can you move them out of people's system? Can you try to keep them from people? Yeah, with politics cards, negotiating, whatever. So those are some of the things I had on here. We answered all the Board Game Geek questions and answers. Let me go back into the Discord. Jim, last one I see was with the star-based miniatures, only 2 per player, and the physical art board. Anything else you guys have on there that I need to answer? I see everybody's answering great on the side. I'm going to be working also on here. I like usually popping up images on my screen and everything, but I have to set up on my computer also all of the program, the OBS program and everything, so that we can do this while interfacing with the live YouTube stream. I'm going to be trying to do this in the next few days, but also Gunta is going to be doing that. We are also going to be working this weekend on a live stream playthrough in the second era, so you can see a little more advanced eras and what's happening in the game. I wish we could do it. We have a whole setup upstairs in our office building here. with a whole room with a big playing table, as some of you have seen from our past videos, with multiple cameras, all the lighting for play testing and showing playtest games. And doing the digital, just it's just not the same like a nice touchy-feely board game. Question about the TTS version, ETA. Oh yeah, we're going to be working on this on Saturday. Try to get everything cleaned up and then available for Sunday to post on Sunday. We have to wait till Saturday just because we have so much going on with getting the rules and everything else for the last 48 hours, but we will get that posted and up and running. Will Academy Games be sharing any of the upgrades or how they work? All the gameplay rules so far is only from the base game. Guys, the upgrades are story cards and events and everything. There's no new complicated rules. In the stories, I wonder if any of you played incredible system, Charterstone, by Jamie Stegmaier. One of the most incredible designers, just brain-wise. What he did, where he's teaching, but that is a true legacy where you're pulling stickers and changing things permanently. Where we're differently, we are bringing in through all these interrelated storylines. And if you look at the overview that I just posted a few days ago, the PDF, it goes through again what we went through the metagames, but in just one spot. And it goes through and gives you an idea how these locks and keys all interact. Because, and I don't think we've ever said that, but A and B are common type of locks. C and D are uncommon. And B, C, D, E, F are rare cards. So, and I'm not going to go through the percentages. I know I have them, but we work with a lot of engineering programs so that we have so many hundreds of storylines interacting in thousands of different ways. We could not playtest this correctly. So we use actually an engineering program that was modified from a stress analysis, which is just a wire framing nodal frame that when you're putting pressure in a certain spot, you can see exactly how the stresses, torsional, tension are affected through colors. And we're working with that so that we can see exactly, we want to have different outcomes on the bottom. And if we change a percentile up here, how does that filter down? That's what I'm working with Mike Vinarsik in the past few years. And you can see we've done technical papers. He's with University of Michigan. We've been working with that over the past few years, trying to develop that more and more so we can bring some of these great engineering concepts and art programs and bring them into the game industry as the game industry becomes more and more sophisticated. Again, not having to read tons of rules and memorize, but having it instinctual, a heuristic bias type reaction to taking the next turn and learning it piece by piece as the game progresses forward. Oh, yes, we already have expansions for next year that we've been talking with Paradox Interactive. They're very excited about the game. They've seen it. They're very involved with us. And again, realize the cards and everything are right now very generic. They don't have all the pictures and the artwork in the back, everything, because we've developed and everything. Now we're getting all the artwork, everything cleaned up and tightened down and bringing these hundreds of cool storylines that we're getting in and getting those integrated and making sure in our program systems that everything interrelates and interlinks. As you're getting on future, like the Hive expansion or something like that, those will fit right in because you're going to get the starter packs that you're going to be seeding the players' decks with that then are going to be unlocking, as you see in the overview examples. When you unlock it, it tells you what cards to open. These cards just float, and each card has 2 or 3 different paths it can go down depending on your ethics, your civilization, your decisions, your past decisions and locks and keys. So it is a very integrated, tight system where we're trying to minimize what we call exemption rules. So the expansions will not include a lot of learning at all. We want a fun experience. We want that you're playing with your group, getting together and playing D&D, and all of a sudden you come to a new monster. You don't know all the subtleties and all that, or your new familiar, but instead of having to read the rules, you're slowly learning. It's like getting married. You know, you may have been dating a few years, but it takes a few years to really get into the subtleties of knowing someone. So I'm on year 34 pretty soon. Wow. Hey, Kari, how many years? Anyway, how many years have we been married now?
It'll be 34 this summer.
Oh, it's been 33. 34 this summer.
Cicada.
Yeah, okay. We got married during the cicadas in Cincinnati. So every 17 years when the cicadas come out, I know it's been another 17 years. All right. I'm so sorry. The 20 minutes has run over into 45 minutes. I want to thank everybody. Please go on the Board Game Geek page on the forum to put in your questions. Michael's done a great job on the Board Game Geek overview page. Check that out. Gunta will be posting rules tonight, and any changes and all we're going to try to be doing in the next few days, but we're going to be concentrating. This will give people a good feel with little details, but what we've been doing in the metagame and also in the overview, it's not that much more, guys. It is visual on the 4 boards, and then the cards drive and give you all the exemption and really develop it. Check out our other rules on our living rules site on the Dropbox that Jim is going to be posting here at the end. And check out the Agents of Mayhem rules, or like some of our heavy war games you'll look through and go, wow, I only have to read so many pages and I start playing. And you play 2 games. And then you'll add, let's say, advanced tank rules or different items, artillery or smoke or hidden movement or fake rumored logistics being put out. So thank you very much. If you have any other questions, please post in the comments. We try to get them as good as we can, and have a really, really great Thursday and Friday coming, and good weekend. And again, thank you for your support.